Hi there, I'm John Keirstead from Arctic Spas Vancouver Island, and today I wanted to answer the question, what's the deal with loungers, right? We hear it all the time. People come in and they'll either love them or hate them is usually what we have. They'll come in and say, I want a spa, it doesn't have a lounger, or I want a spa and it has to have a lounger. I think let's look at the word first, right? The word lounger, I think, sometimes sets the wrong image in people's head. You know, we're thinking more like we're lying on a bed or something like that. And in the early days of the spa business, I think that a lot of the lounges that were put in spas were actually reclined too much, and so they try to put you in this laying position, and if you were buoyant in the water, you know, your bottom would lift up and you'd fly out of the seat, and it really wasn't that comfortable. I think that turned a lot of people off, particularly ladies. Ladies are a lot more buoyant in the water than men, more even distribution of fat in their body, which allows them to float much better. That's why you don't see a lot of men in synchronized swimming, because it would be synchronized swimming. That's my little joke for y'all out there in video land. The really important thing to look at is actually most of the lounges, at least on our spas, on Arctic spas and the spas that we bring into our stores, we're not looking for something that's reclined. You know, if we tilt the person back past about 30 degrees, the bottom lifts up and they fly out of the seat. So we're actually looking more as a seat. And in fact, if you look at this spa here, you'll see there's two shuttle seats in here, which really are positioned back-wise, and your seating-wise is almost the same. The only difference between what we call the lounge is that it's got this additional portion here, sort of like sitting in a chair and then pushing up a ottoman there to rest your feet on. Or if you think of a lazy boy chair, where you recline back a little bit, but it's really just reclined to let this bottom piece out, so you have the built-in lazy boy. So what are the advantages and disadvantages? Well, if you have a lounge or a seat that has a dedicated leg area, the chair itself allows for you to sit in a position where you're not going to float out. There's a deep pocket area to kind of hold you in place, but you're sitting upright, much the same as if you were in one of those shuttle seats. You're sitting upright, your back is upright, your bottom is secured in a pocket area, so you're not going to fly out of the seat. But what this does do is, when you're in the water in this position, so if you're in either of those two seats, your feet naturally just kind of float up a little, you know, in both cases. So the sitting position in both of those seats is going to be very similar to the sitting position here. The advantage to putting this little section in here, though, is that we can massage the lower half of the body really well. So that's probably the number one reason why people like this type of seating, is that there's jets, you know, that go right down your legs and onto your feet, so you can massage the lower part of your body while you're still getting a back massage up here. And that's probably the number one reason why people would do that. Now, sometimes people will say to us, they say, well, you know, that takes up a lot of area. You know, one person sitting here means I can only have 3 other people sitting or 4 other people sitting in my spa. I want to be able to jam and cram more people into this spa. Well, that's true, but I want people to consider, you know, we ask people all the time, if you've had a spa before, and some of you folks out there have had a spa before, who uses the spa most of the time? You know, survey after survey has shown that the average number of people to use a spa is 2. That's the most common number of people to use a spa. So it's critically important that you find at least 2 really good seats. So what I always try to get people to think about is their living room. You know, in your living room, you probably have a chair that you gravitate to, and your significant other probably has a chair, or maybe it's a sofa, whatever it is. You probably have your favorite seats. The same is true with the spa. What we really want to do is, the people that are going to be using this most of the time, we want to make sure there's at least one seat in there that you go, that's my seat. That's the seat I like most of the time. I want to use that one the most. And of course, you can always, if you want to massage different areas, you can move seats. I mean, you're in water. It's quite easy to change seats and stuff. But things that we really think bring more comfort to it is making sure you're not flying out of the seat. So a deep pocket is really important. You know, having some armrests, upper and lower armrests, so that when your hands naturally float, you don't feel like you're in this awkward position trying to sit in the spa. Having different levels of seating is really important as well. A step area for getting in and out of the spa, or stepping in onto the flat part of a lounge, is actually a good way to enter and exit the spa, which is really nice. And you know, I tell people all the time, you can sit here to cool off. Sometimes people will sit on this part of the lounge and actually put their feet up here and get their feet massaged. When it's dry, it seems weird, but when you're in the water, it doesn't seem weird at all. You can sit in lots of strange positions. You know, a lot of times you'll have one person here and they'll kind of have their feet over, another person sitting here. Someone might want to cool off there. I've seen as many as 11 people sitting in a cub, even though we call this a 4-person spa. 11's pretty cozy. You know, I wouldn't recommend that on a regular basis, but you know, half the people were sitting up on the lip. It was a festive kind of atmosphere. People are kind of having fun in the hot tub, right? So that's a little bit about the seating. So what I would really look for, if you are considering a lounge, or if you've decided you don't like lounges, I want you to just try it. Take a look and see if that will actually work for you. Because I think what you'll find is we get a lot more people that actually think that the lounge or area that has a spot specifically for your legs is really great from a massage point of view. And it really doesn't inhibit the number of people that you can fit in the spa, because you can easily fit people in there as well. If you do want an open seated spa, that's fine. But again, I would look at stuff like these shuttle seats that really put you in this comfortable seating type area. And just keep in mind that you're not going to necessarily be able to easily address the leg part of your body. Now on our 8-foot spas, we've got the Orca Jet that can massage any part of your body, shoot straight up out of the spa, so you could do your legs from there. The other thing I tell people is, when you do get hot and you want to cool off, you can sit on the back here and have your legs here, so that's an opportunity. If you've got butt jets in the spa, or jets to get the back of your legs and stuff, you can put your feet on those as well. So I could sit up here, put my feet on that jet. So there is that flexibility. Keep in mind, you don't have to sit in the seats the way it shows on a dry spa. When you're in a wet spa, you can sit in lots of different ways and massage pretty much any type of part of your body. So that's the deal with loungers. I'm John Keirstead from Arctic Spas, Vancouver Island. Thank you for listening.